Hi, so we're now in chapter 9, Payroll Information System. In this chapter, we've been talking about the manual payroll system versus the computerized payroll system. And then they will show you a payroll cycle steps by using an example of an Easy Pay software. And then we're talking about the last list of items to consider when evaluating a payroll system. So for this chapter, I will be focused on to talking about difference between the manual payroll system versus the computerized. And also we will talk about the payroll processes when using a software. So first of all, we have a calculation manually. And then there's going to be a question we'll asking you, what would a manual payroll system be most appropriate for employer? So when we see this kind of questions, we know that a manual payroll system are most appropriate for a very small organization, especially if they do not use computerized system for other business function. Manual system may also be appropriate for small departments or groups of employees where confidential of earnings is felt to be critical by management. So, and then we move on to the types of available computerized payroll system. That is the main point I'm going to mention in this chapter. So we should be knowing that there are four, right? There are four different available computerized payroll systems are standalone computer system, fully integrated system, the ERP, and hybrid integrated system and outsourcing services. So when we talk about, we could have a comparative for advantages and disadvantages. I want to show you the pictures which is made out. So for standalone, the advantages is most efficient for payroll because it's just standalone. It wouldn't affect the other software in the company. And it's just have access to the payroll administrator or for the managers or the company, the business owners. So they can just access to the payroll software and then do the payroll there. Disadvantages added input output due to lack of integration. When we talk about integration, then we'll go to the ERP system. The integrated systems allow the sharing of data between the functions. It may reduce the time lag or errors in re-entering the data. These also will reduce the cost in the organization. So when you see the advantage, I put in as access to data from other modules. Disadvantages, payroll may not be adequate as not prime reason for system. So that's integrated has been used in most of the big company because when the HR hire a new person, they can enter the information for the new employees. As you may know that if you need to do a payroll, you need to enter social insurance number, the date of the birth, and there's some detailed information for a mailing address or a phone number, and then the pay cycle. So when you hire information, HR will enter all those information. When we need to do payroll, if the system is integrated, it was sharing all those information with each other. So now for hybrid, if we go hybrid, we see advantages best of each module. Because the hybrid has developed from different companies with integrated system not being content with compromising the performance with some functions. It's normally used by the big firms because it's very costly. So you will see the disadvantage is for costs maybe higher than the integration issue. Outsourcing. It is mostly the outsourcing services is mostly the most popular ways right now in Calgary, because the outsourcing you will find a very specialist to just focus on the payroll parts. But the disadvantage is costs. It may cost you money, and it may lack of integration because there's gonna be a HR specific person connect all the information of all the employees for payroll purpose, and then send to the outsourcing company, and they work on their end and send back the payroll information. So there is a lack of integration if their different department will have to communicate with each other. So this is a for computerized systems. And then it talking about a payroll cycle steps. When we mentioned the payroll process use software, we need to following the following steps. So the first one, you need to structure the company rules in the software. Maintain the employee record information as required, like the pay cycle or social insurance number, and as well as the date of birth. Enter import pay cycle specific information for processing. So that's first step number 3. And then process the pay cycle calculation. When you finish the calculation, export or print the payment, registers, and accounting information. So that's for the payroll process when you're using software. The size of the organization may impact the choice of payroll system. So as we're talking about, the manual system has been used mostly for a small sized company. So the size of organization will impact the choice of payroll system. Well, based on the knowledge and capability of payroll administrators, the computer system infrastructure within the firm, and complexity of the compensation and benefit policies. Those are the 3 different considerations when you choose a payroll system. So that is for chapter 9. Oh, there's one more thing. When we talk about I wanted to mention a little bit regarding the advantages of using spreadsheet to facilitate manual processing of payroll. So the advantage for spreadsheet software package will providing the capability of performing the basic math calculation using formulas. It will reduce the time required. We've been used this the spreadsheets, right? So when we do the practices for the previous chapters, we'll be using Excel. So it will easy to do the calculation because the formulas can be stable, and then it will reduce the time required for the manual process when you do the calculation and minimize the errors. So that's basically for chapter 9. Thanks for watching.